Tonight, the New Orleans Pharaohs make their postseason debut against the savvy Baltimore Vultures, hoping to bring Mike Dazzo and company their first title. T-Pat trying to get his third championship as a coach, and Aaron Arrington, Xander Gold, and the boys in gold and purple trying to prove their worth in the SFL. An all-star crew from Baltimore, Maryland has your fourth quarterfinal game, and it starts right now. Welcome to Baltimore, Maryland, alongside Nathan Blake on Stats and Ramos Lynn. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Cameron Irvine. Ramos, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. I think that this is going to be a great game. I mean, you have a great team with a championship-winning owner already in T-Pat, a two-time winning championship winner, and I think that if there's a team that can stop this New Orleans kind of game is Baltimore. They have the great corner to shut down or try to shut down the great wide receivers, and they have two goes sideline to sideline to stop the swing passes that New Orleans loves to do.
It's the Pharaohs and the Vultures, the 4-5 matchup, both teams finishing 8-4 at the end of the regular season. And it all begins now. New Orleans and Baltimore on the field for the coin toss. The Vultures choosing to wear all black tonight. New Orleans in all white with lots of gold and some purple accents. Actually, the gold pants as well, as New Orleans will choose heads for the toss. It is tails, and Baltimore would like the football first, and the Pharaohs will defend the South. Ramos, your keys to tonight's game.
Well, you see that Baltimore like to get the ball first, and this is something they like to do. They kind of like to have the first offense, Mike Dazzo, get comfortable, give the ball to T-Roy Gaines, spread the ball to the receivers. He's only about less than 100 yards, about 75 yards away from a huge milestone. So he tries to do it here on the first drive.
The Pharaohs have the ball on the tee and the hand in the air. And ladies and gentlemen, we kick it from Baltimore as the quarterfinals roll on. And from the 10-yard line, Giovanni Bolt returns it out to the 30. And with that, we remind you of what Giovanni Bolt did against Houston with that 106-yard return from the corner of the end zone. Did you happen to see that, Ramos, a few weeks back?
Yeah, I did. You know, Giovanni Bolt was probably the best free safety in the league last season, in season 11, and now he's really showing his worth as a kick returner as well.
Mike Dazzo is the quarterback. He needs 75 yards to become the first SFL quarterback to reach 30,000 for his career. And Dazzo will start with a pass, complete to Bishop Warfield for a first down and a gain of 12.
Yeah, and this is what they like to do. They kind of like to put Mike Dazzo in a comfortable situation. It's just not a big, 50-yard throw. It's just a, 10-yard slant route. Just get the first down and try to put New Orleans in a bad position early on.
221 passing touchdowns. That's second only to Rocco Marconi, another quarterback that was coached for a while under Thomas Paternitti. First and 10 at the 42 for the Vultures. And Dazzo going to drop back to pass again. He'll fire it short. That pass is caught. I'm not sure how. McDaniel was all over that tight end out there, Ty Jordan, but it picks up 4.
And I thought that was going to go to T-Roy Gaines at 1 second. He was trying to look at the right and just dump it short to T-Roy Gaines. It was a dangerous pass by Mike Dazzo, but hopefully, luckily for him, it panned out.
2 backs and 2 receivers have yet to see T-Roy get a touch. There's MeUndies Laundry on the field. Free play for Mike. He's going long. It's intercepted by Tank Bennett, but it's not going to matter. Bennett returns all the way past midfield. Save your energy, young fella, as that is going to be 5 yards over to the Vultures and near a first down, and that is too bad for Bennett and the Pharaohs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mike Dazzo knew he was having a free play, so he just went deep. So really no harm on that one.
So that'll set up, we'll get the notice here in a moment, whether that's a first down or not. MeUndies are the world's most comfortable underwear. Visit MeUndies.com/simulationFL for 15% off your purchase, which will help support the SFL through our partnership. Give the gift of comfort with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, free shipping and returns, signature soft and stretchy MeUndies. It is short of the first down. It is 2nd and 1 for Baltimore. 9:17 to go in the first quarter, no score. Hand off to T-Roy Gaines for the first time tonight, and Gaines is not going to get anywhere. Tackle in the backfield made by Ray West, who is very underrated on this defensive front.
He is, and I think that it's going to be very important for New Orleans to stop things at the first line of defense. T-Roy Gaines is one of the strongest running backs in the SFL, and when he gets to the second and third level, it's really, really hard to stop.
Now it's 3rd down and 1 at the 49. 2 receivers off the left of Dazzo. Flip it out to Gaines. He's got trouble, and T-Roy Gaines gets rid of it and gets to the sideline of the Pharaoh 45 as he throws away Rolliman Hood to pick up a first down.
Yeah, that's all T-Roy, and as I was saying, when he gets to the second and third level, the secondary corner is basically a second level of defense, and he would just throw somebody to the ground to pick up the first down.
So Baltimore on the move early here. Some pressure facing this Vultures team. Of course, Tim Johnston would love to win his first title. He's been in the league for quite some time. Couldn't do it with the Crabs. Hopes to do it in the Vultures era. And all right now, Baltimore off to a good start. This is Dazzo, 3-step drop. He's in trouble, and he's going to go down. Sack for New Orleans, the first sack by either team. And it's Ray West again wreaking havoc in the backfield, a loss of 4.
Yeah, Ray West right there trying to just shuttle everything down on the middle. It's just like one-on-one and completely goes past the offensive lineman and gets the big sack. And this is going to be very important here for New Orleans. If they can force a second and big, third and big, they have the safeties pick the ball away and give their offense a chance. 2nd
and 14, quick drop back, and Dazza will fire it. Daly Holder takes a lick at the 34, but does enough to pick up a first down. Tank Bennett on the stop.
This is something that Daly Holder has done for a few years now. He was playing with the San Antonio Vaqueros, now he's playing with the Baltimore Vultures, and he's just one of the best receivers running those kind of quick inside routes, and also he's a very good returner. And now Giovanni Bolt is taking those duties because he has really impressed, but Daly Holder, a very, very complete wide receiver.
Cody Paulo was running a crossing route with Daly. It almost hit him in the back as that pass was perfectly placed by Dazzo. 1st and 10 out of the empty. Back to pass. We'll flip it out near side to Warfield, who had to make a slight adjustment to it. Aaron Arrington there on the sideline greets Gates and Montgomery, a 3-yard gain.
I like that play. It's going to be a 2nd and 7, but also what it does is that it puts you in field goal range. Now it's going to be a 49-yard field goal attempt. It needs to be that way. So I think that's a very good option here by Baltimore. Just first try and get in field goal range and then try to get the first down.
7:20 to go in the first quarter. 2nd down and 7. This is still the opening drive. It's been 4 minutes. Baltimore elected to receive. Again, straight back from Dazzo, and Warfield catches another over the short middle to pick up about 10 yards to the Pharaoh 21-yard line just out of the red zone.
And that was well covered, and also another player from the Vultures was right there in the vicinity. So I think it's something like Mike Dazzo just feels really comfortable in doing. It's just those type of quarterbacks who really feel more comfortable throwing the ball into tight windows, kind of sort of a Matt Wilson or Julian Tyree kind of thing.
Boy, press coverage right here on the line for New Orleans, one of the best man coverage teams in the league. Dazzo going to try to exploit it, tipped up in the air, and bobbled around and nearly intercepted. Hit Berthier in the back, and that's going to drop incomplete. The first incompletion for Dazzo after 6 straight receptions.
Yeah, and that should have been picked, obviously. It was a triple coverage. Great job by the New Orleans Pharaohs on playing kind of man/zone. The linebackers were really covering that middle of the field, and the rest of the corners were trying to kind of play man-to-man, and a great job right there by the defenders, but unfortunately they could not come away with it.
Dazzo looking for Lloyd Graham. That's his first target. Warfield, 3 catches, 26 yards here on the opening drive as New Orleans tries to not put Xander Gold in a situation where he has to play pickup ball right away. 2nd and 10 at the 21 as Dazzo again will fire out to Gaines. Gaines has a lot of room. Gaines gets rid of another and gets down to the 3-yard line. Boy, Gaines playing janitor in the first quarter and taking out the trash.
He was looking at what Zach Zandley did to the Mexico City defense earlier today, and he was, I can do that as well. He just puts his shoulders down, runs over a defender right there, and gets inside the 3-yard line, really. So about the 2.5. And I think if I'm Baltimore, really I'm giving the ball to T-Roy Gaines one more time. 5 minutes off the clock, and the New Orleans Pharaohs defense has to be tired at this moment. We'll get the ball to the running back.
McGarry's having a rough opening drive there. Tackling goes. Dazzo going to throw again. Fade back of the end zone. Get those toes in for a Baltimore touchdown. And that was perfection from Thomas Paternitti, Tim Johnston, and the rest of the Vultures as Warfield gets his 4th catch and that one goes for 6.
You know, it's basically what I was saying. You know, when they won the toss and they selected to receive, I said, you know, they want to make a statement. They want to really put New Orleans in a bad situation. That's what they just did. I mean, they are at home, 6-0 now, and New Orleans really. I mean, it's still early in the ball game, but when this is the first time that you're in the playoffs, you're the road team. You're down already 7-0. So let's see if New Orleans has the mental strength to come back from this.
Dazzo's now 5 yards away from 30,000, the first quarterback to reach 30,000 for his career. The extra point from Shark Tarkington is up and good, and it's 7-0. Vultures on top of the Pharaohs. So this is the fourth game of 4 quarterfinal matchups. If you missed any of the action earlier, here's the summary. Denver uses 3 turnovers, or +3 in turnovers, 2 missed Sioux Falls field goals, an A.J. Levy fumble on a kickoff return, and a kickoff return touchdown to separate themselves from Sioux Falls 43-24. Dallas got 4 field goals to beat Mexico City in a shockingly low-scoring game, 12-10. And then Alaska outlasted Tallahassee and kept the Pride on their toes. It seemed like Tallahassee was down by 7 or 3 points that entire game, and they just did not have enough to knock off the 2-time defending champs, and here we are with Xander Gold hitting the field.
Yeah, going back to those games, it's completely different what happened in the first game between the Aztecs and the Lobos. The first time 59-48, and now just 12-10, just basically a battle of 5 field goals and just 1 touchdown. As we see Xander Gold, I think he will give the ball first to his running back.
Nope, gonna drop back the pass, fearless. He actually flips it out to the fullback. Got a great block on the outside by, I believe, Matt Wolf. Joe Dazzo comes over to make the tackle, and look at these numbers, Ramos, of Xander Gold. Look at the improvement. On top are his season 11 numbers, his rookie season. He improved by 17 touchdowns and almost 1,000 yards this season.
Yeah, and I think that Xander Gold, if he doesn't win the MVP, he needs to be, in my opinion, Offensive Player of the Year. For me, it's between him and Zach Sandwich.
And he flips that one out to Logan Jack for the first down.
Yeah, and Logan Jack has been a very good player here as a compliment for Xander Gold. I'm not saying that Xander Gold is just a game manager or anything, but he has relied on his running back a lot and just basically dump it to the flats. He puts it as a wide receiver, and he's just a mismatch problem for linebackers and safeties.
Heath McDaniel doing some awesome coach work in New Orleans along with Aaron Arrington and that staff. Gold going long, and the pass is caught by Pell, and Pell is gone down the sideline for a touchdown. New Orleans, they strike back quickly.
There's no wide receiver in the SFL that is better at running the deep route as Deezer Powell. I had him on the Pro Bowl a couple of seasons ago. And he's just a burner, and when he gets behind the defense, he's just gone, because there's no corner, I don't think, in the entire league who can beat him in a foot race. And when he catches the ball, it's just off to the races and gone for Deezer Powell.
What'd you see, Ramos? I thought I saw some press across the board, and maybe Thornberry just missed him on the outside.
I think he was unable to bump him. I think that Diesel Power was just so quick enough to just get behind the entire defense, just basically eluded the bump and run. At that moment, the corner was in a very tough position, had no safety over the top to help, and it was just an easy pitch and catch for Xander Gold and the Pharaohs.
So we're already halfway.
What a response!
Yeah, what a response is right. Already over halfway through the first quarter, and we haven't even touched on one of the most wild storylines I think ever in league history. So Xander Gold either last week or a couple weeks ago, after their most recent victory, had to have eye surgery. This is a true story, and it had some unfortunate complications. And Xander Gold is still struggling to. He has not regained his full vision, and so he's out there playing tonight in New Orleans' first playoff game with some cloudy vision out there. And he just threw a perfect strike to Powell, and those guys know each other so well. He probably doesn't even have to see where he is on the field.
Or maybe he was just so wide open, it was like, man, I can see that.
Yeah, there's no black jerseys in sight. I think I'm okay.
Right, absolutely.
1st and 10 at the 29. Now it's Baltimore's turn to respond. 4:48 to go in the first quarter. We're all knotted up at 7. 2 in the backfield, handoff Gaines. T-Roy Gaines for the first time tonight, able to push things forward. A 7-yard pickup before being wrapped up by, I thought I saw 21 out there. I did. Kappa Jones at free safety.
Yeah, great job right there by the offensive line of the Baltimore Vultures on that time around. You know, they have struggled in the first drive. We saw Ray West just getting in the backfield and everything, but right there, very, very good job by the offensive line and opening the hole.
2nd and 3 at the 36, 4:18 to go first quarter. Dazzo going to change the audible at the line. This could be his record-breaking throw. Dazzo deep ball down the field. Oh, wide open is Warfield. 30,000 and more than that. Touchdown, Baltimore. They strike back. Oh, my goodness. We're in for an exciting show tonight.
Yeah, and that's basically something that we thought it was going to happen. I'm surprised we have not seen more of the running backs in the flats, you know, more explosive plays, but it's been all deep throws. Powell first, and now just as good. It's just a quick post route and completely over the defense. Just a linebacker right there, just completely lack of communication right there for the Pharaohs, and probably playing some kind of cover 2 of the hash marks or something, but there was no safety there to help.
It looked like a linebacker got mismatched on Warfield in the slot. And just like Thornberry missed a bump at or towards the line of scrimmage, and Warfield broke free. And boy, these defenses are going to have fits with Bishop Warfield and Deezer Powell and more. There's so many weapons we haven't even gotten to with Lloyd Graham and Matt Wolf and Daley Holder. It's a feast of weapons out there.
Yeah, it's tough to defend. You know, we played them early in the season and we lost 31-3, and it was just, you know, you just cannot cover everybody. It's just, you know, you cover T-Roy Gaines, and then you have Warfield running, you know, a 50-yard post route. It's just like that. It's just really tough to stop.
Bishop Warfield, 5 catches, 93 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Aaron Arrington on the return out to the 22-yard line. So Gold, hey, 1 isn't enough. You're going to have to go out and do it again.
I mean, you know, this is something that he has to do, and, you know, that's why he was drafted first overall. You know, he was drafted first overall to carry the reins of this offense, and he just has done a tremendous job all season long on doing so, and has delivered time and time again. You know, he's one of really the best players in the SFL today.
And on to Logan Jack. He destroys, who was that? That was the great Amon. Inside a pickup of 4. If you haven't heard SFL Story Time by Ashley Jackson on her podcast, she is so creative and talented, and she did a story on Amon Takes and had me just rolling.
Yeah, she's really good. You know, just check it out.
2nd down and 6 of the 26. Madame 96 with the 300 bits. Thank you for your support, as Jack's only going to pick up 1. He's going to set up the first 3rd down for the Pharaohs, as Giovanni Bolt was in there on the stop.
Yeah, Giovanni Bolt last season was probably the best defender in the entire league, or really about top 3, I will say. He was the leader in interceptions last season, and he's just a very safe tackler. Now returning kicks is just a complete football player.
Gold with an early perfect quarterback rating. Going to hand it off to Jack on 3rd down and 5. Has to make one man miss, and he pushes the pile forward. A small pile, it be, but Giovanni Bolt cannot stop him all on his own, and New Orleans has a 1st down.
Yeah, great play right there by Logan Jack. And again, I think this is a very tough kind of situation for New Orleans, where it's 3rd and 5. You have a great running back, you have a great quarterback. It's basically what you do. They decided to run the ball, and it's just worked perfectly for them.
Matt Wolf's at the top of the screen, and Deezer Powell at the bottom of the screen, guarded by Thornberry. Back to pass is Gold. Gold has time, now dumps it off to Jack, and Jack gets rid of 1 and then picks up a few more. That was Takes, who got put on the ground again. Tony Willis ends up making the tackle. 7-yard gain.
Yeah, but Amon, you know, basically he's going to go down 1 or twice, but, you know, he is going to make his play. He's going to make his statement on Logan Jack one of these plays.
Yeah, all Logan is doing is making Amon more upset. That's all he's doing at this point. 2:06 to go in the first.
And you don't want that.
You don't want that. That's right. Gold changing the play at the line. Hand off to Jack, and a great audible as Logan Jack puts Joe Dazzo on his back, and Willis again has to come in for cleanup, and Willis and Boulder saying, hey, guys, come on. Come on here. You're better than this.
Yeah, and basically it's been just, as I was saying at the beginning also, it's just basically the running back against the 2 linebackers. Who's going to break first? And now, right now at least, Logan Jack is really, really winning the battle against those 2 backers.
1 in the backfield. T. Paternity in the chat says he'll get tired, and not so fast as Jack is hit by Kaz McFly. He says that's how to make a tackle. That's a 2-yard pickup. 1,000 bits from Alan in the chat for supporting, what did he say? I want to get the direct quote here. Supporting our commission, the best esports community. Thank you for your support.
But you could see it right there. Logan Jack was a little bit tired. He was not as explosive as in previous plays. So you can see he's getting a little bit gassed.
2nd and 8 of the 48. This is Gold flipping it outside. Got enough velocity on that throw to pick up 6. That's Willis again on another tackle. And the first catch of the night for Mickey Bischoff for New Orleans.
Yeah, and 3rd and 2, this is decision time. You know, you're a long way from a field goal, so you just kind of, settle in. Do you run the ball again to Logan Jack? He's basically being your workhorse. Do you throw the ball again? I will actually throw it to the flats.
They ran it on 3rd and 5. Baltimore's got 7 in the box here, trying to crowd it. Gold is going to throw. He's going to throw a slant into traffic. They do not heed your advice, Ramos, and it's going to stall the drive. Pass intended for Matt Wolf for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and there was a lot of confusion in traffic right there, and the pass was just completely overthrown. Really a broken play. And Joe Dasso, coverage by him, I don't think there was any type of penalty or infraction on there. I think it's just really good coverage by number 47. And now Baltimore will have the ball back. And this is where you don't want to be as a Pharaohs player. You're on the road, and if you allow another touchdown, beat down 21-7, it's going to be bad. But now are they going for it?
No way. I would be shocked. 4th and 2 here at the Vulture 46 early in the ball game, trying to get Baltimore to jump. And look at the Vultures, man. They are ready, all on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And Gold's not even going to let the play clock run all the way down. He did not like that look, and that did not work.
Yeah, it was just not a good decision right there. I mean, basically just burn a timeout. I think that, obviously, if you're the Pharaohs, you want to try something different. You have nothing to lose at this point and everything to win. So why not, probably? But, a timeout, a wasted timeout in this situation could be really, really bad by the end of the 2nd quarter.
4th and 1, 4th and inches I can see, but nobody in the building, I don't think, really thought, especially after that last slant. Yep. Last slant went awry. This punt is not even going to reach the 10. This is Bolt on the return, but he didn't get much up to the 13. 500 bits from Optimus Klein. The bits are rolling in tonight. We very much appreciate all of your support. As it has been a long day. The SFL headquarters turned the lights on this morning at 6 a.m. to begin preparation for this quadruple header, and it has been a blast. We've had awesome games all day.
Yeah, awesome games. We see Alaska just trying to keep their championship streak alive. They did against the
1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. 25 seconds to go in the first. Split backs for Dazzle. Got a mismatch at the bottom of the screen. He's going that direction. Warfield with a one-handed catch. Takes a shot from Jones, but Warfield is on another planet right now.
Really.
And say that one more time, Ramos. We lost you there for a second.
Oh, Warfield, I mean, he's just played a terrific game. One-handed catch right there. He just got a big touchdown 2 drives ago, and it really seems that he is his game today.
That's going to be the final play of the first quarter. A fast-moving first quarter, but wildly entertaining as New Orleans defense needs answers for Bishop Warfield. They have found none so far. 14-7, Baltimore leads New Orleans. You're watching the SFL quarterfinals on Twitch TV, presented by APM Music, with Nathan Blake, Ramos Lynn, and yours truly. Now going empty for Dazzo. Neither team has run much, thinking they have the advantage in the passing game. Dazzo up his front foot, and the pass is nearly intercepted. Really should have been, and New Orleans misses yet another opportunity to ruin the clean sheet of Mike Dazzo, and that one was a little risky.
Yeah, it was, and I think that if you're Baltimore, you want to run the ball a little bit more and just try to keep New Orleans' offense off the field, at least for now. That was bump and run coverage across the board, and as you said, Cam, New Orleans is one of the best teams at doing the bump and run, and it's basically just I will run the ball here with T-Roy Gaines, make it a 3rd and management.
Just the second incompletion for Dazzo. They're going to throw again. They're going to throw out the Gaines. Dazzo takes a big hit. So does Hood, who tried to make the tackle on Gaines. Bennett ends up coming down with the stop. A 4-yard pickup to the 40 to make it a more 3rd and manageable, as you said, Ramos.
Yeah, and I think that if you're New Orleans here, just basically saying stop Warfield. It's just basically try to cover Warfield, double cover him if needed. And, it's 3rd and 6. Let somebody else go in a one-on-one, but do not let Warfield get behind the defense again.
Back to pass. Dazzo looking that direction. He does it again. Bishop Warfield has Aaron Arrington's number tonight. Arrington, one of the best corners in the game, but not in the first half, as Warfield has just blown this game wide open.
Wow, and he is most definitely the player of the game so far. It's just a simple post route, and I'm surprised that New Orleans doesn't have any safety over the top. I get that you will beat Aaron Arrington. I mean, it happens, just like it can happen to any corner, but not having a safety over the top is just completely inexcusable.
Bishop Warfield has 176 yards and 3 touchdowns on 7 receptions, 8 targets in the first half. Who needs a running game when you have Bishop Warfield and Mike Dazzo on your offense? This is ridiculous, and Xander Gold is in a very difficult spot, but as we've seen, the Pharaohs can score quickly as Tarkington's extra point is good. It's 21-7 with 10:22 to go in the first half. The Simulation Football League is presented by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House. By Extraordinary Everest, heartfelt messages on the most extraordinary place on earth. By Bit Central and Fuel, transforming SFL media in 2019. And by Harry's, all you need for a close, comfortable shave. 10:22 to go in the first half. The Vultures lead 21-7. They have not been stopped. Warfield has scored on all 3 of the Vultures' possessions, and here comes Arrington from his goal line, gets a block, and then wrestled down at the 23. And back comes the Pharaohs' offense that has not been bad at all. 109 yards on 12 plays.
Yeah, not at all. And I think that if you're the Pharaohs, you cannot really panic right now. I mean, 21-7 is not good, but there's still a lot of time left on the clock. And again, you have a great quarterback, you have a great running back. I don't think you have to really panic at this moment. You can even run the ball here on 1st and 2nd down, try to settle down and try to give some rest of your defense.
How about that for settling down as Jack picks up about 23 yards on the gain. That's his best run of the night.
Yeah, and again, this is player here, Logan Jack, who has really dominated the defense of the Baltimore Vultures so far. The linebackers can't stop him. And again, Giovanni Bolt and the rest of this secondary needs to make a stop.
Tony Willis got blocked out of your picture there. Really nicely done there by the Pharaohs offensive line. 5 carries, 37 yards for Jack. They're going to go heavy now for the first time tonight. Takes McFly all up on the line. I've never seen a corner so far inside. And look at this. They throw it outside to Jack. And Jack fumbled the football. It did bounce out of bounds before popping back inbounds. That was a wild play. I thought there for a moment it stayed in as Giovanni Bolt forced that near takeaway.
We've seen a few fumbles today, Cam. We saw Zach Zanley fumble a couple times, and we've seen a few fumbles. And luckily for the Pharaohs, it bounced out of bounds, because if that's in bounds all the way, that's picked up by a Baltimore player and ran all the way back.
That's the 8th total fumble in 4 games today. Jack takes the handoff, but he's going the wrong way. It's not going to get the first down. Takes got the last lick on him. 3rd and 1 is the count for New Orleans. They really need this.
Yeah, they do. And if I'm New Orleans, I'm running the ball again up the gut. Just trying to get that 1 yard. Not trying to do anything. A run through the guard. It's just basically through the exact center to try to pick up the first down. Everybody's on the outside.
Yeah, 9 in the box here. We'll see if they try to go outside again. Nope, they're going to try to slam it right up the middle. That is hard-nosed, ground-and-pound football. And New Orleans probably needs to slow this game down just a bit to give their defense a chance to rest, especially Arrington.
Yeah, they need to put their type of play here on display. It's just basically just run the ball, passes to the flats, just try to control the pace from here on out.
Out of the eye, Matt Wolf does not have a catch yet, defended primarily by Kaz McFly. Takes his calling out signals, 3-step drop, and that time Matt Wolf got the jump on it. That may have been, yes, they did throw the flag right at the end of it, and Wolf gets up and has some words for McFly. That's going to tack on 15 for a late hit.
Late hit, number 25, defense.
That's on McFly, and we're going to get a look at the replay. We should.
Yeah, but I think that it's a good call. I think there was no need. I mean, you just tap him and that's it.
Yeah, he slammed him down after
Yeah.
he's touched
Yeah.
right there by Takes on the dive, and then McFly unnecessarily flies in. Guys on the ground, just tap him down. And look at Wolf. He's still jawing out there with McFly. That's going to be a matchup to watch for the rest of the night. 1st and 10 at the Vulture 15. New Orleans in the red zone. Gold going to throw. Gold quickly outside. Oh, Deezer Powell turns on a dime. Somebody pick up his change back there. Touchdown, New Orleans.
Wow, what a play right there. I mean, he's not just a deep burner. He just catches the ball in a 3-yard route and turns it into a big touchdown. And again, as you said, he just stops on a dime and just runs up the field. It was basically the corner was like, where did he go?
Woo!
As we can see here on the, whoa, man.
And Rockabye Deezer in the end zone, and New Orleans responds emphatically. And now the question is going to be, will they have an answer for Bishop Warfield, who's obviously on a record tear right now, trying to go after D.R. Sims' record that stood for 3 years after Stephen Hacker almost did it to the Vultures just last week. Extra point for New Orleans is up and good. It's 21-14. What a game here in the first half. This is some kind of fun with Nathan Blake holding it down on stats. A quick stat update on the quarterbacks. Xander Gold is 9 for 10, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. A perfect QBR. Mike Dazzo's 12 of 14 for 221 yards, 3 touchdowns and no picks, and a perfect QBR. I don't think I've ever seen 2 perfect QBRs, Ramos, in a second quarter of a football game before.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I don't think so, me neither.
Bolt returns it up to the 28, and more 500 bits again from Madame 96. And that account is now up to second on the leaderboard, just behind Plague 7. Optimus Klein's also up there. And we've had some new faces join today in the SFL. Want to give them a shout out here while we have a moment. We had Quickhead, Superwoman, and I'm not sure if I can say that username here on the air. I don't want to get in trouble with my terms of service. Handoff to Gaines, only picks up 1, but nonetheless, welcome to the community.
Most definitely, and we see T-Roy Gaines get 1 yard. This is a very important defensive drive here for the Pharaohs. Let's see if they can finally stop the Vultures. And again, as I was saying on the previous play, before this one of the Vultures, is just basically try to stop Warfield at all costs. Double cover him if needed, and just try to settle down in that regard.
Warfield's in the slot right now, away from Arrington. Dazzle going to throw. There goes Warfield deep down the field. Dazzle going to look elsewhere. The pass is caught by Graham for a first down to the 40. Boy, when Warfield is finally covered, Dazzle knows where to go, and the Vultures get another first down through the air.
Yeah, and Graham has really been a blessing here for the Vultures, not only catching the ball, but he's a very solid run blocker and a very important part of the run game of the Baltimore Vultures as well.
T-Roy Gaines on his 4th carry of the night is going to pick up 4 carries, 12 yards, and I wonder, Ramos, if the Baltimore Vultures coaching staff looked at what New Orleans had and thought, you know what, we're going to take advantage of their aggressive defense, and this may not be Gaines' best night through the tackles.
No, and that's true, but again, you know, as you say, if Mike Dazzle can get some time to throw, he's going to find the deep passes. You know, he's going to find Warfield running down the sideline. He's going to find Graham. He's going to find those guys.
Dazzo out route. That pass complete to Daly Holder down the sideline. Hood makes the tackle as New Orleans backs off a little bit. 1st and 10 to the Pharaoh 46. Time ticking away. 6:25 to go in the first half. And again, we have not had any turnovers. Just 1 punt from New Orleans and 5 touchdowns on the first 6 drives.
You know, and it really doesn't show that it's going slow down. I mean, this is basically Baltimore and New Orleans having great offensive game plans, changing the play here again.
Dazzo to throw, out route Warfield, and he makes one of his easiest catches of the night, 5 yards. Look at that stat line. That's a stat line for like January, just the month in general,
Yeah.
not one half of play.
No, I agree. You know, almost 200 yards, 3 scores. You know, there's receivers, you know, that don't get that in the entire season, you know, the 3 scores. So, you know, really impressive first and a half quarters for the big-time wide receiver.
5:50 to go in the first half. Vultures lead by 7. Gaines is disrupted in the backfield, but still gets 5 off that play. Actually, they're going to mark it 4. 3rd and 1 to the Pharaoh 37. And if New Orleans ever had an opportunity to get off the field, it could be right now, just outside of field goal range.
Yeah, it has to be here. I mean, one of those guys, Wes, one of those guys needs to really break that first line of offense and just try to stop running back behind the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they can do it.
7 in the box. Gaines is not going to get there. Berthier got in there at first and then helped out by a teammate, Cornelius Arthur, the outside linebacker. What an excellent job by the Pharaohs linebackers as they hold them short, but the Baltimore offense is still on the field.
Yeah, do you go for it? I mean, if I'm Baltimore, I'm probably going for this, Cam. I mean,
Yeah.
You're in the lead, 5 minutes left. You have a great running back. I'm probably going for this, honestly.
I would agree. Gaines in the backfield, down to 12. They are going to go for it. Dazzle going to throw. Dazzle, short throw, pass is caught by Warfield. He ran just a little hook route inside at the 34 for a first down as Baltimore gets creative and stays on the field, and that just takes the wind out of the Pharaohs' sails.
Yeah, because you basically say, hey, we are winning by 1 score. New Orleans is really playing good on offense. Nobody can stop anybody, so let's see if we can just outscore and just outgain people.
Out of the eye, Baltimore wasting some clock. This is a deep drop for Dazzo going down the middle of the field. It's intercepted, and that pass intended for Warfield is picked up by Kappa Jones, and it's the first mistake for either quarterback tonight.
Yeah, it was basically what I was saying. Now the post route, and again, I understand the corner of the linebacker being put there, but put a safety on the top, and now they did. And New Orleans really catches a monster break. Now they have 4 minutes left, so there's plenty of time for them to go down the field and score at least a field goal.
So if I'm New Orleans, I'm thinking, man, I do not want to give Baltimore the ball back before going to the locker room. We get the ball to start the second half. They could get a 2-for-1 with a blood-sucking drive here. Gold, dangerous throw, and he actually threw it away. That was really smart from Gold, who had pressure everywhere.
Yeah, that was purposefully going out of bounds. It was just not like an overthrown. It was thrown out of bounds because the corner was right there. So, great job by the quarterback on just throwing it out of bounds and getting a 2nd and 10.
I bet you were thinking what I was thinking, which was, oh, this is a pick 6.
Yeah, pick 6. Yeah, all the way.
2nd down. Gold showing maturity there, just getting rid of it. Back to pass. We'll flip it out to Jack. Jack getting some blockers out in front. But look at all the Vultures on your screen. There are 9 red hats there to meet him. Only a 4-yard pickup. And with 4 minutes to go in the first half, your comparison tonight, both of these teams are top 10 in almost every meaningful statistical category.
Yeah, 2 of the best teams right now today in the XFL. New Orleans with a great quarterback, and these are Powell, Logan Jack, they're very good, and Baltimore landing a very strong defense.
Gold throws an ill-advised pass right to Giovanni Bolt for an interception. That was just plain wrong from Xander Gold there, and that hurts the Pharaohs' momentum.
Yeah, just completely overthrown him. Giovanni Bolt again, the big ball hawk, safety, easy interception. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that.
Man, it looked like Matt Wolf got disrupted there by McFly. It was hard to tell whether that was in 5 yards or not, but I think that may have disrupted the timing of that route, because that definitely did not go as planned for New Orleans. And after their defense gets the first stop of the night, they're right back out there to try to contain Warfield and company. Back to pass. Warfield going on an out route. You can see it from here. Got a lot of open space. Spins and gets down the sideline. You, sir, are ridiculous. Touchdown, Vultures, right off the pick.
I mean, he's a receiver that has the moves and the speed of a running back. I mean, that's kind of unfair, don't you think? Because not only does he turn he turns the rock down the field, he just spins out of a tackler, and Aaron Arrington is just having a very tough game.
Yeah, which is surprising considering he's the anchor really of this defense. Baltimore's going right at that and finding success. And you know who he reminds me of, Ramos? We're gonna school the people that haven't been in this league long enough, but Bishop Warfield reminds me of Freeman Goodspeed. Remember that kid?
Yeah, me too. He was turned into a running back then.
I remember he was turned into a running back on that T-Pat Mahler's team, and then he got hurt the first game, and he was out for the whole year.
Yeah, in season 5, it was a season after the Minneapolis Maulers won the championship.
Yep, and that was that became a season that TPAT will always want to forget. I've never seen so many injuries that actually prompted a new rule in the league.
Franklin Rees.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Yeah, they had to sign a silver Franklin Rees.
Oh, Arrington lost the ball, and Arrington lost the ball. It's recovered by Baltimore. Tyrone Means recovers the fumble, and it goes from bad to worse for New Orleans.
Man, this is really, really bad for New Orleans. I mean, they need to stop. They need to limit the damage here to just a field goal at most. And if I'm Baltimore, I'm going to Warfield again deep. I'm sorry. I mean, if I'm Baltimore, I'm just going out there. It's just like try to make these statement to Warfield. So if I'm New Orleans, they better be.
And that was Arrington again.
Yep.
I mean,
he's having a terrible game.
He is having the worst game of his career here in the first half. And Baltimore is now all over New Orleans. Out to Gaines. And Gaines has some space down the near side. And we'll get to the 15-yard line. Look at Dazzo's numbers. I mean, every time New Orleans gets a sliver of hope, Baltimore steps on their neck.
Yeah, they just shut it down. And if again, I like the play call. It wasn't a deep throw, so I was expecting, but 8-yard gain, and really puts the defense on their heels. Now they went deep. To the outsides. Will they run the ball right now up the gut or something? I think that Baltimore really has New Orleans on their heels, and it's very tough to stop.
That is the 9th fumble of the day. This is just out of control. Gaines along the left side. Most room he's had in terms of green grass today. 1st and goal at the 9. Plenty of time for Baltimore to milk this down. Wow, what a half. The winner of this ball game goes to Alaska for the semifinals. Dallas will be heading to Denver as 2, 3, and 9 teams, one of them which will have a chance to get to the championship. A tremendous turnaround by both of those franchises as Gaines picks up 7, and now everything is working, even the run game for Baltimore.
Yeah, and the reason why is because now you see the Pharaohs defense is really getting tired. You see the front four, and everybody's getting pushed back. Like not a single defensive lineman is winning their battles. So, and this is something that could be really demoralizing here for the Pharaohs. And if I'm Baltimore, I'm running the ball up the gut again and just punish that defense. Right up like to the left. There's only one linebacker right there.
Apollo's wide open. They're not. There's nobody on Apollo at the bottom of the screen. What are they doing? Hand off to Gaines. It's not going to matter. Walks in for a touchdown. And Baltimore has scored 14 points, extra point pending, off of 2 critical New Orleans turnovers.
As I was saying, the offensive line of the Vultures is winning literally every single battle. No, not a defensive player of the Pharaohs can shed a block at this moment. And if you're the Pharaohs, all you're hoping for is halftime at this moment and just try to regroup, try to catch a deep breath and just try to get the ball back.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get a touchdown before the half and then they get the ball to start the second half, this game most certainly is not out of reach, but it all started with that Xander Gold interception and whatever that pass was going to Matt Wolf. And from then on, New Orleans looks completely bewildered out there.
Yeah, absolutely. What New Orleans really needs is a big return here from Aaron Arrington.
Yes.
For both for his confidence and for just New Orleans to try to get a spark.
I agree with you. He needs a confidence boost for sure. This from the goal line. Aaron Arrington really struggling tonight, and he tried to juke Vulture out of their shoes, but Vultures don't wear shoes, and that was never going to work. That's the 2-minute warning, and it may be a 21-point game, but with the game we're having tonight, I wouldn't count anybody out. You're watching the SFL quarterfinals on Twitch, presented by APM Music. Xander Gold going to hand it off to Jack, and Jack's in trouble, and he gets pounded right at the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard, and Joe Dazzo is there to make the stop.
Finally now, and again, just as you're saying, Cam, everything is clicking. Now Logan Jack was the one delivering the punishment, and now Joe Dasso and Amon Takes are now limiting those damages. So, with a 2nd and 9, let's see if Sander Gold tries to go deep on this one, maybe to Deezer Powell.
And Powell's in the slot there to the right of Gold. Gold changing the play, and he'll fire it out to Jack with a blocker in front of him, and Jack cannot make Joe Dasso miss. In the first quarter, Logan Jack was winning these battles. Now he is not, and it's 3rd and 6.
With a 3rd and 6, you're looking at the time off the clock. If I'm New Orleans, see where the ball is at, I will just play it safe. And if I'm Baltimore, if you can get a stop right here, maybe you call a timeout now that you have the momentum, try to score again.
Why not? 3rd and 6. Gold gonna fire it outside. Jack's got the corner. Did he get the first down? No, he did not. Unbelievable stop, and it looks like Baltimore's just gonna let this go, as is New Orleans. But what a play right there at the sticks.
Yep. And with the 4 inches, obviously you have to punt. And Baltimore will still have time. So if by any chance Giovanni Bolt can get a nice return, you never know. I mean, probably they can try to score one more time.
Oh my goodness gracious. Updated numbers for Warfield: 10 catches, 219 yards. That's 69 more yards than all of the New Orleans pass catchers combined, as that punt is away to Bolt with 8 seconds to go. Bolt from the 26, and he is met immediately by Tank Bennett, who is a special teams demon for this Pharaohs squad. 7 seconds left, and if I'm New Orleans, I'm asking, can I play a cover 14? Does that exist?
Yeah, basically just plays like super prevent defense and just basically put 1 rusher and 10 safety players. But yeah, if I'm Baltimore, just running the ball maybe to the left.
Dazzle gonna throw. He may be looking for blood. Going deep. It's goes open. Warfield cannot get away, but 1 second left.
Timeout. Yep.
And they call the timeout, and they're gonna get Tarkington on the field to kick a field goal. Oh my goodness, wow. Bishop Warfield.
That's just crazy execution right there. It's just basically have everything in your control. Just throw it deep up in the middle. You still have timeouts, and the tackle was made just in time so they can call a timeout. And I think Tarkington can make this when it's a 51-yard field goal attempt. I'm not sure about the wind at this time of the ball game, but 51 yards is definitely doable for him.
Yeah, it was calm at kickoff. I didn't see anything noticeable there. This would make it a 24-point game, 51-yard field goal for Tarkington, and that's why you pay a kicker. He had plenty of leg. Baltimore is all over New Orleans. The Pharaohs have to regroup, specifically how to stop Bishop Warfield, because he's 122 yards away from setting a new SFL record and doing it in the postseason of all things. 38-14, we've reached halftime. We'll get a look at these first half stats and awe at what has transpired here in the first half. It doesn't even feel like the Pharaohs played a bad first half. Just Aaron Arrington at corner just got completely outmatched, and that has literally been the difference.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this and you look at the game and you remember, right? You remember really Logan Jack running over people, Sander Gold delivering very good throws to Deezer Powell. He has 2 touchdowns, and really doesn't feel like 38-14. It doesn't feel like a blowout. It's just the fact that Baltimore has had about 3-4 huge plays that have been the difference. Big throws to Warfield, the fumble on the kickoff return, little stuff like that, and it doesn't feel like it, but 24 points. It's a huge deficit to surpass. However, they will have the ball back to start a second half, so let's see what they can do.
Yeah, I think the first possession of the second half is going to set the tone in this game. If they can't do anything with it, you might start to put a fork in them. We know one semifinal matchup. It's Dallas at Denver. They met earlier this season on Blitz Live. Denver took it to them with that historic 100-yard touchdown right from the very tippy toes of the goal line for Gerard McChesney. But this is a completely different Dallas team. They had not gotten, really any quality wins before playing Denver, and they've gotten plenty of them since then. How do you see this Dallas-Denver matchup shaking out? And who do you think of the 3-9 teams from last season? Who do you think ultimately is going to get to play Alaska and either Baltimore or New Orleans in the championship?
Well, I think that, man, it's really going to depend on both running backs. And this season, I trust Zach Zandlin a little bit more as a running back. You know, Jared McChesney's a great back, to his credit. But I think it's going to be a battle of the running back. And at this moment, I trust a little bit Zach Zandlin a little bit more than I trust the Denver running back. So, you know, I will put a little bit of my money on Dallas, but I will not be surprised at all if Denver comes away with the W. I think that also the defenses need to play to the running backs, of course. And if somebody can get lucky with an interception or two, it's going to make a huge difference. But I will go with Dallas on that particular situation, I think.
That's the final highlight of the first half there. Got him an extra field goal right before the half, and there's Arrington on the tackle. I have never seen a player of Arrington's caliber. He is so good.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, exactly. I have never seen a player of his caliber have a half like that. I can almost guarantee you that we're not going to see that in the second half.
And let's see if it starts with the very first kickoff return. He's going to return this one. He's totally fresh, coming away from the halftime. He received his speech from the coach, and let's see if he can get a good one here.
With Nathan Blake and Ramos Lynn, I'm Cameron Irvine, and the second half has begun here in the quarterfinal from Baltimore. From 1 yard deep in the end zone, Arrington on the return. Arrington makes one miss, two miss. Here goes Arrington. Oh, and Giovanni Bolt lights him up at the 27-yard line. And, boy, stick a flashlight in his eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, and Giovanni Bolt, as I was saying, you know, he's a complete player. You know, he's a complete football player. He plays safety. He's back there on the field. He plays safety, you know, deep center fielder. He goes close to the box. He returns kicks. He covers kicks. You know, really one of the best players, again, as I said, in the league. You know, last season, probably the best defender in football.
Gold's not messing around here to start the half. Going deep to Powell. It's caught! Deezer Powell again down the near sideline for a touchdown, New Orleans, as Powell burns a defender on the near side again. And if you left because it was a blowout, you might be the biggest fool of them all tonight.
Yeah, and talk about a crazy stat. You know, Deezer Powell pulling a Randy Moss here. He has 3 catches and 3 touchdowns, and all of them passes like that. Well, one of them was a short throw, but a couple of them on a big throw for a score. 3 catches, 3 TDs for number 17.
And protecting that football, because we've had our fair share of we've had our fair share of fumbles here. But
today.
My goodness, first play of the second half, we talked about setting a tone coming out of the locker room, and boy, did New Orleans did it. And I don't know if we're going to have multiple records set tonight, Ramos, but we've got to have at least one with the way this game is going. This is ridiculous.
Minimum. Yeah, minimum. I mean, let's see how Warfield continues. Man, you know, this is one of those games, right? It's just basically nobody can stop anybody. Huge plays. You know, like 70-yard touchdown. It's basically just T-Roy Gaines or Logan Jack getting a big touchdown like that, you know, like a 70, 80-yard run. Is everything that's left in this game.
And now the difference in the game is the difference in this game is now only the turnovers. That's really
it's basically that only.
Right, exactly. From the 6-yard line, Bolt on the return, trying to make some magic of his own. He's going to be wrapped up at the 27-yard line. And we'll see what type of adjustments the Pharaohs have made. Looking back at that team comparison again, the Pharaohs give up 24.8 points per game. They have the 6th best defense in the league and gave up 38 in the first half. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it truly is. And, you know, when you face a team like Baltimore, they really know how to exploit what is, you know, your weakness. You know, they did to us, and they have done all season long. You know, they have beat Alaska twice.
Oh, they're going for Warfield. He caught it again. The pass wasn't even good. And again, Arrington is what is happening here? Let's see if we can get a look.
I think
he came up.
You know, yeah, Arrington was just playing his zone. It was just basically the safety's job, and he just didn't get on time. So really, you cannot fault Aaron Arrington for that one. But you know, you can really fault the defensive coordinators' play calling on there, just one-on-one against the safety. You know, this is really perplexing how they're trying to stop the big-time wide receiver.
It never ends. This is just a never-ending storm of offense here for the Vultures, and T. Roy Gaines is wrapped up by Hood. Nice open field tackle, 5-yard pickup. Bishop Warfield now has 284 receiving yards on 12 catches. Again, the record is 377 by D.R. Sim in that insane game against Oklahoma City way back in Season 7. That record has stood for quite some time.
I was going to say this is some Aburazzo Season 4 kind of numbers. You know, it's just basically just run deep routes and just catch everything and get 300 yards and 6 touchdowns.
And Gaines bowls over a defender and gets into the red zone for the first down. That's his best run of the night.
You know, this offense right now of Baltimore is really reminding me of kind of like a mixture between the Season 4 Maulers and basically this season's Dallas Lobos at this point, where it's just the running game is going perfectly, the passing game is going perfectly. There's great job by the offensive line on blocking, and really it's just too many men to stop. And you know, Daley Holder has been quiet for a minute, but maybe they will go back to him in this play.
Warfield back on the slot. Kappa Jones does have a pick. New Orleans has confused Dazzo at least once tonight. Deep ball down the middle. Oh, it should have been intercepted. Kappa Jones had a chance at another one. That was very good coverage by Aaron Arrington, and he's encouraging his teammates. Come on, let's get a stop.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, this is a play that he needed. You know, he needs that kind of confidence booster. What it was not an interception, but almost, and that should have been a pick. Good attempt by the Baltimore Vultures in trying to score, but you know, great job by the New Orleans defense in shutting that one down. But
he laid a hit on Graham, and sometimes you got to send a message.
He did.
3 receivers for Dazzo now off the incompletion, just the 4th of his night. 2nd and 10 at the 20, going to throw again. Everyone going out in the pattern. Pass caught by Warfield. Pick up a 14, 1st and goal. He has 295.
And 4 touchdowns, and you know, this is 6 yards away, so maybe he will get another touchdown for 5 and more than 300 yards, and he's just completely uncoverable. You know, he's running the slant route, he's running the deep post, he's running the streak routes, and he's just completely open at all times. I would not be surprised if he's on the football field. I would not be surprised if he runs kind of like a short out route or something, try to get open.
You called it. He ran the short out route, but instead throw to Gaines from Dazzo, no gain. But that's exactly what they were doing that time. They shaded him off the left side of that line, and didn't fool New Orleans, but Baltimore trying a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and I like the play call here by Baltimore on their route tree. Is just basically running deep runs. You know, we have seen the tight end Graham just run straight up the gut. It's just a great job on play calling here by Baltimore.
Gaines going to get stopped by a combo tackle from West and McDaniel. That was a nice job in the trenches. Only a gain of 1. 3rd and goal from the 5. If they can force a field goal here, they keep it a 3-touchdown game without 2-pointers being involved.
Yeah, I will use here Daley Holder with his size. I'm not sure he's on the field right now. Probably he's
slot
not.
Left.
Yeah, he is. Maybe like a short slant route or something with his size.
Split backs for Dazzo. Linebackers showing blitz. They back off into coverage. Dazzo looking for somebody to get open, and Daley Holder gets the touchdown. That's a late hit penalty, so the score is going to stand, and Dazzo has done it again.
Yeah, and as I was saying, it's that kind of a short throw, slant route with his size. You know, he can shield defenders and really try to get open and catch those contested balls. And really, Baltimore looking so good today.
Well, you keep saying it's not over, but if New Orleans can't get any stops, then it is over. There's no question New Orleans can put points up on the board, but they have really had their issues here with the Vultures. I believe now that's 7 scores. Dazzo threw a pick. Nathan's got me covered in the stats. That is Baltimore's 8 drives tonight. or those are their 8 drives, as that extra point is good. 45-21. Baltimore up by 24, but don't go anywhere. New Orleans getting the football back. The Simulation Football League is brought to you in part by Matt Doyle Designs, official design partner of the SFL, by MediaTek Institute. Visit mediatek.edu for diploma programs. Turn your passion into your profession. And by MeUndies, the world's most comfortable underwear for men and women. 7:29 to go in the third. We've already had 14 points scored in the first 4 minutes of this second half. 2 yards deep in the end zone. Here comes Arrington. Arrington past the 20 and upended at the 23-yard line. That's Bolt again with his 5th tackle. And now we'll get a chance to see Randy Moss again out there for New Orleans. I'd run that play again.
Yeah, and I will not be surprised if Xander Gold tries to go with him. 24 points down. You need an explosive play. I think that for the first play, he will try to dump it short to Logan Jack. Try to get a little bit more momentum here probably, but I will not be surprised if the next play he goes to Deezer Powell.
Hand off to Jack, picks up a block. That's your ever-scroll block of the game, gets a first down to the 35. Wow. That was an excellent block there inside. And Ramos, I'm now thinking, yes, Deezer Powell is your most prolific weapon, but if you keep scoring on one-play drives, it's not really helping you. They need to run some clock here.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you can do, but you have to score when you can. I mean, it's basically just try to score as quick as possible because there's just 1.5 quarters left, and you're still down by 24. So, just try to score when you can. Is what I'm trying to say.
Jackson a backfield, 1st and 10 at the 35. Gold straight back, throws a slant to Powell, and that was well covered by Amon Takes inside. That is my territory, says Takes. And it's incomplete.
Yeah, and now Amon Takes and Joe Das are really putting the clamp down here on those kind of short throws. We've seen time and time again out here for New Orleans try to do those slant routes, and they have been all over them. Let's see if they can try to go with Logan Jack here on 2nd down.
3 receivers in the pattern, 2 off the short right side of Gold. Gold looking around, finds a wide open Matt Wolf. Nice vision there from Gold. Play. And it gets a first down to midfield.
Yeah, that's a good play. And I think it has to be like the first or even second catch here for Wolf. We have not seen a lot of him. But this time, great job on the zone, sitting in the zone and just to get the first down, which he does.
Second catch on 5 targets. That was Willis with the tackle, 27 yards for Wolf. Although understandably, with Deezer Powell playing the way that he's played tonight, I know why he's been more of a focal point. 153 yards, 3 receptions, 3 touchdowns. Gold going to throw again. Deep drop back. Gold firing down the middle of the field. That pass is caught by Wolf. And that is a touchdown. New Orleans, they beat him over the top and again. And New Orleans will not go away.
They will not go away. And the only thing that has not worked for Baltimore is to stop the deep throws. All of the rest, they have been able to contain Logan Jack here later on. They have been able to contain the short throws. It's just basically that deep post and that deep, fade route. They have been unable completely to stop those, and really has hurt them.
This Pharaohs offense has 4 really offensive focal points. They have Gold, Jack, Wolf, and Powell. And this is obviously a defense that is top 3 in the league in almost every single category. Is this the most, you've been around this league and All-Pro for a very long time, Ramos. Is this the most efficient and well-maintained offense that has such limits in terms of number of weapons that you've seen?
I will go ahead and say no, Cam. I will say Tallahassee a couple of seasons ago, they had Christensen. They had the running back, it was Giant Yola, I'm pretty sure at that moment. They had Ken Gossett, and they had Duke Wilson. That was the 4.
Duke Wilson. Yeah, that was an era for sure.
Yeah, and those were the only 4 guys, and they could really, really, really put the points on the board. New Orleans has to be up there, but I will put that Tallahassee offense just a step above.
Bolt gets laid out by Bennett there at the 27. Oh, now Jerry Smith is hurt for New Orleans. Mitchell calling for somebody to come over. The Pharaohs, I think he's faking it so their defense can get a little bit more rest.
Maybe.
So take a look. Oh, he got shoved in the back. Come on.
Oh, come on.
You can't do a big fella like that. Who is that
No,
out there?
come on, 68. Come on.
Dennis Isaac.
Come on,
What a
man.
terrible name, Dennis. If you're a real person that is associated with Tim Johnston or Thomas Paternitti, my apologies, but oh man, that was not cool. 1st and 10 at the 27. Warfield has not been cool to the Pharaohs defense all night. Dazza, what are you doing? All the way across the field, finds a fullback who breaks a tackle and picks up 7. That is
Because why not?
That's exactly because why not tonight?
Powell again, 151 yards on 3 catches and 3 scores. So that's the Randy Moss stat. But it's really been Bishop Warfield and Mike Dasso. I mean, to his credit, other than 1 interception, he's played a clean game all the way.
Warfield's at the bottom of the screen, 2nd and 3 at the 34. Handoff Gaines, and Gaines gets away from 2. Gaines in the open field, and T-Roy Gaines past the 30. He's gonna go, and they score again.
Man,
What is this?
wow. I mean, a record has to be broken, you said. I mean, and they're really trying to break every single record today. There's still 1 and something quarter, like 1.5 quarters left, and we already have 52 points by the home team. And this is just, man, look, it just get away from me. It's like it's nothing really.
Man, T-Roy Gaines has a personal space problem, and he does not like it when you get up in his face. Tarkington might be the most exhausted player on the field. This is about his 18th different appearance. And New Orleans, still, you feel like they just need a stop because they keep scoring too.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like if they can score a touchdown and get even an interception, something like that, they are just right back in this thing because they can score. I mean, they can definitely score. They have the pieces to do so. It's just the fact that they have not been able to stop anything today. Again, a record has to be broke. What's the record for points? It's 80. No,
70. So T-Pat would know
76.
in the chat. Yeah, 76. That came in a playoff game too. You remember that?
Yeah, against the Honolulu Legends.
That was the Coma Kaleka game. Where
it was the first ever punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah, he had a punt and a kickoff return for a touchdown in that game. Arrington returns it out to the 21-yard line. This is all offense from Baltimore, and we put Xander Gold up on the screen because I wonder if he's just starting to feel the anxiety of this game.
Maybe.
And we talk
What
about
do I have to do? I mean,
right. I mean, we talk about New Orleans needing just 1 stop, but if Baltimore can just get 1 stop, this game is basically over because New Orleans just has not been able to prove that they can get off the field defensively. Out to Jack on a swing, and Jack picks up 7 to the 28-yard line. There are the ridiculous quarterback numbers of tonight's game.
yeah, and that's not a terrible play. I mean, it's a 7-yard gain that puts the ball in a 2nd and short, and you still have a lot of time, but it's just basically trying. The defense needs to make a play, and it's not even a stop. It's just like try to get an interception, try to get one of those fumble recoveries because they have forced a fumble. It's like they have to really take the ball away from Baltimore's hands.
Jack not going to pick up the first down, but mad respect to New Orleans for trying to hammer that thing in there with 9 in the box. Yep. Got a couple of yards, and they've been able to move the ball against that defensive set. We'll see what they do on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and probably if I'm New Orleans, I'm trying to hammer that one again, maybe to the left here.
Gold going to change the play. He's going to throw it. He wants to throw. Had the out route. Going long to Powell. Way down. Oh, he caught it. These are Powell in traffic, in coverage. Oh, my gosh. I've run out of adjectives.
Wow, and you know why, Cam? Because why not? Because it's working, and because this game is just crazy. It worked because why not? Because it had to. What a throw right there by Xander Gold. It was just a rainbow, and it's not bad coverage at all. It's just a perfect throw.
That might be one of the best passes I've ever seen. It wasn't an easy throw.
Passes. It's one of the most beautiful because it was just like he took time to deliver that one.
Oh, drop in the bucket. New Orleans back in scoring position. Gold out to Jack. Jack's got some trouble. Gives a stiff arm, and then another, and Jack picks up 7 to 13. Powell's
I
got
kind of don't want this
201.
game to end.
I don't either.
It's like, man, like, we have had great games today, but I mean, this one really, despite the score, because when you see the score, is man, this was a blowout, but it really isn't. You have to watch this game to realize both teams are giving it all.
And off to Jack. Jack breaks a tackle and then gets his head cut off by Willis. And boy, if you took the over tonight, oh man, are you rolling in the dough?
Mm-hmm.
80 points. Have not even the fourth quarter yet.
No, not even yet, and we are 8 yards away from yet another touchdown. If I'm Xander Gold here, bottom of the screen.
That appears to be Bishop. Let's see. Gold gonna actually go the opposite way. Finds Pal again to the 2-yard line. Pal and Warfield. Are you ready for this? Deezer Pal and Bishop Warfield have combined for 505 receiving yards in this game.
And like 8 touchdowns, right?
And 7 touchdowns.
7 touchdowns.
Second and goal from the 2. Goal line defense for Baltimore. Going to hammer it down in with Jack, and he's not going to get in.
Oh, great stop.
Takes in the backfield.
Yeah, that's a great stop. That's great hustle right there by Amon Takes. Just barely grasping the running back and bring him into the ground. Third and goal, the ball at the 4. You know, Baltimore's one of the best defenses as just limiting the damage here because they have 2 great linebackers. I would honestly throw this ball here, even if it's 4 yards. I will throw this ball.
I would too, but you can't turn the ball over. You got to get at least 3 here. Gold changing the play again at the line. He's been good in audible situations. He is going to throw. He's in trouble. Escapes out of it. Oh, he overthrew a wide open receiver. Matt Wolf was wide open. A beautiful play by Gold to escape the sack, and he just rushed the throw.
Oh man.
Oh.
You know, this is what really costs you. You know, it's just Baltimore is scoring touchdown, and now you cannot answer with just a field goal, but actually, obviously, you have to take the 3 points. It's going to be a 21-point game, so it's still not the end of the world because New Orleans really can put the points on the board, but the
field goal from 21 yards away is good. It is a 3-touchdown game still in the 3rd quarter, but New Orleans defense needs to prove that they can get a stop with 1:36 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, first they need to stop here Giovanni Bolt. Try to and see because you don't want to fumble today. I want to jinx it for Giovanni Bolt, but you know maybe they can force the fumble on him as far as New Orleans goes. You know, try to get a spark here.
Here's another insane stat. The Vultures have 52 points on 44 plays tonight as Bolt returns it up to the 33. Nice return there by Giovanni. And New Orleans is averaging 16.5 yards on first down tonight.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's just crazy. And I swear, if Warfield goes in this play and scores a 67-yard touchdown, okay, we see the spotlight on Aaron Arrington, so don't let me down, Aaron.
Oh man, Arrington has had tough work. It hasn't all been his fault, but he's had a tough assignment tonight. That ball is incomplete. Jones doing an excellent job to swat that away as Warfield again was the intended target down the field.
Yeah, we see the final call on Jerry Smith, the guy who was pushed from the back, and he's going to be out for the rest of the game.
Awful.
Yeah, and because he is a special teamer on that field, and because he was out, probably they couldn't stop Giovanni Bolt before he got to the 33. But let's see if the defense can make the job.
Hope I don't get pushed in the back by Dennis walking in my car tonight. Good night. 2nd and 10 at the 33. Dazzo going long again. It's knocked away and incomplete as Arrington swats it away from Graham Jr. And all of a sudden, New Orleans is starting to get some momentum here on defense.
Yeah, and obviously Baltimore is getting that type of confidence, whether it's like, man, we're gonna just throw the ball deep and it's gonna work. And New Orleans finally saying, no, that's enough of that. So 3rd and 10, let's see if they can put some pressure. We have not seen anything from West since the 1st quarter, really. So let's see if he can put some pressure on the quarterback.
4 wide here. Dazzo, all kinds of options. Deep, and it's swatted away by Arrington. A 3 and out for the Pharaohs defense will force the first punt of the night for Baltimore.
Yeah, it's basically what you were saying, Cam. You know, it's just, it doesn't seem that New Orleans is out at all. It's just basically they need to stop, and they just got it. So if they can score a touchdown, it's just a 2-possession game with, you know, still about a quarter left. So Baltimore is going to punt the ball, and New Orleans will not have really bad field position. Maybe they will get the ball around the 35-yard line.
I think I saw EJ DeQ say that ScoreStream is doubting whether or not he's factually reporting scores correctly because there's been so many scores. As Arrington from the 29 made, oh man, split the difference. What a move. That was a very nice 4-yard return.
Great job by them. And again, you know, the 33-yard line for the Pharaohs. If I'm Sander Gold, I'm throwing the ball deep here again to Deezer Powell. You have the momentum, you have some confidence now, even though they're now going in a power set, so never mind. Maybe they're just going to throw it to the flats on the far side. Look, there's nobody there.
There is nobody on the far side. They're going to hand it off to Jack to try to pound it up the middle. He breaks a tackle. Oh, Jack almost got away. Picks up 7 as Thornberry saves the touchdown from the other side of the field.
Yeah, he did. And, you know, that was basically Baltimore running and shifting to the wrong side. They were shifting to the near side, who was the short side of the field, and that could have been disaster for the Vultures, but they're able to limit the damage to just a 7-yard pickup.
Wolf's the only receiver on the field. He's to the bottom of your screen, far side right, as Gold out of the eye will throw. Gold looking in Jack's direction. He's got a lot of open field, and Logan Jack picks up about 6. Tony Willis comes over to make the tackle. Jack a little slow to get up. First down, New Orleans.
You know, and let's see if they can, or if they will take it to the fourth quarter, or if they will run a play. I will run a play if I'm New Orleans. I don't have much time to lose, so I will run a play here.
This is 9 in the box again here for Baltimore, and they are going to slam it down inside as that picks up 2, takes on the tackle. New Orleans not afraid of this Vulture defense, and that ends the third quarter of play. This is wild and wacky, and it's got to be the most exciting 21-point game I have ever seen. You're watching the SFL quarterfinals on Twitch TV, presented by APM Music. Second down for the Pharaohs, and Gold is going to fire it out to his fullback, and he's got a lot of space to pick up 6. He'll set up a manageable 3rd down and 2 to go for New Orleans, and I would expect him to rough it up the middle again.
Yeah, a nice job by the fullback. One-handed grab. He was able to turn downfield to get some good yardage. 3rd and 2, though. Look, by this formation, I think they will swing it to the far side with Jack.
99, nope, going to hand it off to Jack right up the middle, and he's got a first down easily to the Vulture 39-yard line as New Orleans continues to try to string this game out just a little bit as you look at Gaines and Jack's updated numbers.
Yeah, and everything getting some good numbers. Jack with good numbers, and T-Roy Gaines with the 2 touchdowns has been really running hard. And, you know, they are not yet in field goal range, New Orleans is. Even though it really doesn't matter for them. I think this is going to be 4th down territory regardless for the rest of the game.
Jack is still pushing forward, picks up 3. And the clock, I don't disagree with it now because you want to stay in this game as long as possible. But at some point, they're going to have to speed things back up.
Yeah, and now they are going in the shotgun formation, so let's see if they go with Powell in a post route or a deep corner route.
2nd and 7 at the 36 of Baltimore. Here comes Gold in the offense, going deep, but it's covered, and it's almost intercepted by Thornberry. And that was a dangerous ball from Gold. He is very fortunate that did not get intercepted.
Yeah, great job by Thornberry. He knew exactly that was going deep to Deezer Powell, and he just completely shut it down. So great job by him. And if I'm New Orleans here, I mean, again, you want to get the touchdown, but I will say that at least you want to get in field goal range. You know, this is a very tricky situation because do you want to get, you know, like throw the ball short, try to get at least in field goal range, or you just throw the ball deep? I think this is going to be an out route.
Old 3-step drop. They're keeping you guessing.
Run
A
it.
backwards pass to Jack. He's going the wrong way, and that's not even going to get him into field goal range. And this offense is going to take the stop their defense got and turn it into nothing.
And here's the thing. I think that if Xander Gold just takes off and runs up the gut, he gets the first down.
That's a missed opportunity right there. They
Yeah.
may look back at that play, and now did Baltimore just jump offside?
I think they did, and that this is field goal range now. This is not
man.
a first down. Yeah, this is not a first down, but this is field goal range, at least. So I think they will try to kick it. They have to.
Yeah, you have to try to get some
48
points.
8-yard field goal attempt is definitely not impossible. So I think you have to try to kick it. You know, if you miss, whatever, but you have to kick this ball. It's 4th and long too, so it's advised to go for it.
Golly, I kind of of the mindset that you just go for it. I don't know how field goals. There's not enough time left. You would think they've scored so quickly tonight, but getting that Baltimore offense off the field has been a tall task. This is from 47 yards away, and it's good. So New Orleans puts more points up on the board, 52-34. But their defense is going to have to go back to work here.
Yeah, and if you look at it this way, Cam, it's an 18-point lead, which technically can be a touchdown with a 2-point conversion, a normal touchdown, and a field goal to tie the game. So, I mean, the math still adds up, but as you said, probably you go for it either way.
Yeah, that's a good point. They would need 3 scores, but don't necessarily need 3 touchdowns anymore with the field goal, as Bolt will not reach past the 30. Compton on the tackle. They're going to need another 3 and out. They certainly can't afford for Gaines to bleed clock, or Dazzo for that matter, who's 25 of 32 for 385 yards and 5 touchdowns tonight.
First of all, they need another stop. They did a great job on the previous defensive drive on shutting a 3 and out, getting a 3 and out. Now they need to do the same thing. Let's see if Baltimore, instead of throwing the ball, they'd run the ball to take as much time as possible. They have to realize that.
Gaines, this is not a good start. Gaines is in the open field with Hood to beat, and T-Roy Gaines is going to score. Throw it all out the window. Baltimore may have just shut it.
Yeah, and this is completely inexcusable here for New Orleans. Of course, they have thrown the ball all over your defense, but right now the main focus is going to be the run game, since Baltimore, as I said, they had to realize it has to be a game where they have to take off the time, and they just run it for 6 and completely untouched.
And now, because of the field goal, this extra point makes it a 4-score game, and that is, if anybody could do it, New Orleans could do it tonight, I suppose. But I'd be onside kicking from here on out, because
has to.
Wow, what a crazy game.
And how we talk it is just like, it's still possible, because it is. It's a 25-point game with just 8 minutes, but it does feel like possible. I mean, even if it's like a 25-point game, with Deezer Powell, maybe they will score in the first play, and
I feel silly for even suggesting it, but it makes perfect sense.
It feels like it. It does feel like it. I mean, this is not a 28-3 kind of game or a 31-6, where it's like, man, New Orleans can score. It's just basically, man, if they score within a minute, it's still a possible thing.
Arrington on the return. There's no room there for him up to the 23. 8:03 to go. The Vultures have scored a whopping 59 points here at home, likely punching their ticket to Baltimore, where they swept the Storm, including a game in Alaska that started the season. Oh, how we've come full circle.
Yep. Yeah, most definitely, and we see now the rivalries and the rematches: Dallas-Denver, Baltimore-Alaska. Those 3 very heated games. Coming back full circle.
Why is New Orleans running?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, you have to think they have to throw the ball now with Powell probably deep or something, but there's just not enough time anymore.
Yeah, that was a shocking play coming out on first down, especially considering that Powell has been so lethal. Warfield's still sitting on 295. At this moment, he'll fall well short of that record that he was on pace for. Jack hurdles a defender, gets a first down. The drive continues, but they've already taken a minute off the clock here.
Yeah, exactly. And Baltimore is, you have at it. It's just basically have at it. You just run the ball. They're obviously daring them to throw. Daring them to run the ball, and they're just for New Orleans, they just have to throw the ball. I mean, at this moment, 25 points, it's do or die at this moment. It really, who cares?
Powell's up at the top of the screen. He's going to run an out route and pick up 8. It's the first time I've seen Powell run that route tonight, and Powell is up to 218 on 6 receptions.
Yeah, great game for Deezer Powell, but this is New Orleans. Right now at the 43-yard line. A post route, a deep route, like a corner route, something like that to try to get the spark. And Deezer Powell is outside. He's not even in the football field right now. They're going in a kind of a heavy set.
2nd and 2 at the 43. New Orleans not showing a sense of urgency, maybe showing somewhat of a broken spirit here as Logan Jack takes the handoff. And Jack has had a good night, but he has not had that breakaway run for a score like T-Roy has now had twice.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been Logan Jack. When you look at the stat sheet, he is like steady, but again, as you say, he's not like T-Roy Gaines getting those 60-yard touchdowns. And at this moment, New Orleans doesn't need any of that. He's just throw the ball at this moment again.
6:25 and counting. Gold in the gun with split backs. I haven't seen this tonight either. Out of the nickel. Back to passes, Gold going deep down the middle of the field. That pass is tipped up in the air and nearly intercepted, almost caught there by Bischoff. Takes was dropping into coverage.
Yeah, kind of playing like a Tampa 2 kind of defense where the linebacker just goes deep to cover, and because they realize, Baltimore realizes that's all we have to stop at this moment. All those dink and dunk runs, we can allow any of that, but we just need to cover the deep ball. That's all we have to do at this moment with a 25-point.
Powell's at the top of the screen, 2nd and 10, clock stop with 6:15 to go in the 4th quarter. Jackson in the backfield, Gold, quick throw to Powell, pickup of 7 on a slant. That makes 3rd down more manageable.
And with a 3rd and 3, you can do it again, maybe another out route to either Powell or Wolf, and try to get it out of bounds to stop the clock with a 1st down.
Powell's chasing Warfield now, 225 yards for Deezer Powell. 3rd down and 3, but this drive taking a lot of time off the clock, and Logan Jack gets clocked at the 40, 4th and 1, and if New Orleans feels like they even have a chance, they'll go for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if New Orleans says, you know what, I think our goose is cooked, but I think they are. No, I think they're going to punt it. I think they've surrendered.
Yeah, I think too, and I'm not sure why. 5 minutes, I know it's really difficult, but you don't have to really just surrender, and they just are literally punting the game away.
They will get it down inside the 5, down to the 4. I suppose you could always get a safety and get the ball back that way, but the odds...
But how this game has come,
right.
I think it's more possible that Warfield gets here a 96-yard touchdown.
Absolutely, and Bennett down there to collect it. Either way, as it looks like New Orleans is going to fall on the short end of this, it's very hard to win your first playoff game in the SFL, in the NFL for that matter. Denver got it done today and played a very good game at home. New Orleans, this was a different type of task as T-Roy Gaines, is he going to do it again? Gaines all the way to the 43-yard line, and somebody take the first team off the field. They have already proven enough.
Yeah, I agree. And this has been an all-around game for the Baltimore Vultures. Everything is completely working for them. Running game is working. The offensive line. I don't think we have seen Mike Dasson getting sacked since the 1st quarter. So it's just been a complete game for Baltimore. And as you were saying, Cam, it's very hard to win your first playoff game. And if you don't have to just hang your head around. It's just basically what it is. And New Orleans still a very good team. They're going to have a very good season next season. Ooh.
Holder dropped
That was
that.
a chance.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a
that,
chance.
that was the chance for the interception. But as I was saying, it's just basically regroup. Your team is going to be better than this season now with more experience, and I think New Orleans will be just fine with a great bright quarterback, with a great running back, and just Deezer Powell still in the field if he is a great veteran presence. So New Orleans will be fine.
4:36 to go in the fourth. The handoff goes to Gaines, and T-Roy Gaines with Bennett to beat is going to get all the way to the New Orleans 23, and they are still playing out there. Gaines, who had, remember, 12 yards on 4 carries.
Yep.
It looked like it was not going to be his night, and that was a poor assumption.
Yeah,
That was Arrington again.
and yeah, it was. And the offensive line, even lineman one pulled to the left guard completely whiffed on his block, and T-Roy again is like, okay, I'm gonna do it myself, and he just put his shoulder down. But it's just been a complete game, and let's see if Baltimore throws the ball to Warfield just to get him over 300.
648 yards of offense unofficially, as Gaines will lose 1 to drop him down to 647. Gaines and Warfield have a combined 558 of that 647 yards. That is truly unreal.
Yeah, that's completely. It's really impressive. And as I say, as you were saying, Cam, New Orleans is not a bad defense. It's not like they were a bottom feeder all season long. New Orleans is a very good, respectable defense with a Hall of Famer at corner. And again, they will be just fine for next season, but today was just not their day.
And off the Gaines, running right. T-Roy Gaines gets his legs cut off from Tank Bennett. Well, we can now officially announce next weekend's playoff schedule, the semifinals at 5 o'clock. Mike Daggs and Matt Wilson will be in Anchorage to call the Alaska Storm and Baltimore Vultures, the 4-1 matchup in the bracket. Winner goes to the championship. It would be T-Pat's 3rd appearance, Tim Johnston's 1st appearance, or Max Paul's 3rd appearance. And then on the flip side of the bracket, since I had the pleasure of calling Baltimore tonight, I will be calling, along with Andy Hamilton, the semifinal from, as the backups have now come in for Baltimore. I will be calling the semifinal from Denver and Richard L. Snowden Memorial Stadium, where the Denver Nightwings will take on the Dallas Lobos. That game will kick off at 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 8 Eastern. And both of those games will air either on Twitch or YouTube, to be determined.
And now Baltimore will have here a chance to get a 60 burger on this. Make it 62-34. Should be easy for Tarkin, who's had a very, very busy night.
And before they do that, we will have hit the 2-minute warning. This was the most exciting blowout, I think, ever.
I mean, it has to be up there. I mean, there was not a single time or a second where this is getting boring. It was getting kind of out of hand, but in the good sign, it was just basically seeing explosive plays by both teams. And, it's a 28-point victory here for Baltimore, if this field goal is true. But, very, very exciting game.
Well, it's not over yet, because Baltimore is going to get some time to some other members of the team, and Deezer Powell's going to still be out there, and we still might have some more.
You're right. Maybe he will have, what was it, like maybe 7 catches for like 4 touchdowns or something.
Oh man, well he's if he wants to catch Warfield, he needs 70 to do so.
I mean, it's possible.
It is possible. Gaines gonna fall short of Warfield. He almost stole player of the game, but I think Warfield's still going to take it.
Yes, takes it for me.
But I think the play that he made on the sideline when he spun away and scored that touchdown, I think that was the moment when you were like, oh, this is going to be something special.
Yeah, exactly. It was, it was so weird to see it from a wide receiver. You see him turn up the field, but basically they get tackled or they try to go out of bounds or something. And he was like, man, I'm not having any of that. This is the playoffs. I have to score. And he just spun around, broke the tackle, and scored the TD.
Tons of respect to New Orleans here tonight. They played a pretty dang good game offensively. Obviously, they struggled a lot defensively, but they put up 34 on the road against a top 3 defense, and they got to be quite pleased with that. 2nd and 7. Time is ticking away. New Orleans does have all 3 timeouts. Gold's going down the field. That pass caught by Wolf all the way to midfield. They'll burn a timeout.
Yeah, with the ball in midfield. You know, and New Orleans really showing, you know, now a little bit of great. And again, you know, this is a New Orleans team where, you know, Wolf now is a Gold player and Xander Gold. You're really getting some experience, and they will be back for next season for sure.
Home teams moved to 6-0 in these playoffs, and we'd have to go back to see if there was any playoff bracket where every single home team won. I'm not sure that there's ever been. There's still 3 games left in the bracket, and obviously 2 very competitive games next week. I expect plenty of fireworks and some unbelievable performances, and no matter how you slice it, it's going to be a veteran against a newcomer in the SFL championship game, and kind of a David and Goliath situation, just the quirky way things all worked out, and who knows, maybe David pulls a shocker.
Yeah, you know, well, if Dallas wins, though, I mean, they will be back in the play. I mean, they were in the championship game as the Dallas Roughnecks in season 8, so it's Stephen Molinek's chance to seek some revenge. He's 0-1 right now, and maybe he can put a 1-1 if he wins next week.
Yeah, I know the Lobos faithful would love that. 1:13 to go. Gold's in trouble. That's a rare sack. Haven't seen much from the Baltimore D-line tonight. I think that's their first, actually.
Yeah, I think that's his first one. Or their first one.
Gold, 3-step drop. Fires incomplete. Now it's 3rd and long. Minute to go. Wolf, the intended target. Wolf and Powell have now been targeted each 10 times. Jack has 13 receptions. Very balanced offense.
Yep.
Gold, 29 of 35, 416 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception, all with cloudy vision. And, and there wasn't much else he could do.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, offensively, New Orleans really played a great game. 34 points on the road against the top 3 defense. I mean, that's some really good stats, but, you know, the defense just couldn't hold it.
And that pass is dropped. That was open. Gold looking for some PI down the field, and just looking for anything to fall his way. 4th and long. This could be the final play of the ball game here. The final play that matters, anyway.
Right. Now maybe another try to heave a pass to Dees or Powell or something. Try to get something here on 4th and 17. He's your big time target. Maybe a post route. He's 1-on-1 against the corner. So let's see. The safety is on the middle of the field.
Empty set. Gold going long. 1-on-1. It's Powell. And Powell is not going to break a tackle, but gets all the way down to the 8. His chase for Warfield continues, and New Orleans will burn another timeout.
Yeah, I think it's going to be enough for him, but or at least it's not going to be enough time for him to catch him, but, you know, he's still doing his best.
He would need an onside kick. That was out there against Benjamin Paul, who's getting some minutes. But New Orleans not lying down, and at the end of this game, you're going to look at the interception that Kappa Jones got. New Orleans got nothing off that drive. Then the 3-and-out the defense got, New Orleans got nothing off that drive. Or actually got a field goal off the offside.
If this is a touchdown here, which, not yet, but if this is a touchdown here, it will be more than 100 points combined. We are looking at about 103 points with the extra point, and has to be within the top, I will say, 5 games in the SFL history with most scoring. I know that the top is 62 to 59, 121 points. So this has to be up there.
Yeah, it has to be up there for sure. And then you talk about playoffs. It might be, it might eclipse that Honolulu Minneapolis game. Logan Jack is going to break a tackle. Oh, he didn't get in though.
Oh man.
Now the clock's going to run. Heck of a play by Pete Lloyd.
Yep.
3rd and goal.
76 to 27, by the way, if I remember correctly.
Oh, they try a shovel pass for the first time tonight, and it's knocked away. 4th and goal at the goal line. So what was it, Ramos?
It was 76 to 27, if I remember correctly. So that's 103 points.
Yeah.
If you score a touchdown with the extra point, it will be 103 points. So they will tie that mark.
And I believe that is, I can't think of any other game in the playoffs that's eclipsed 103 points. So we may get our record after all, Ramos. They're going empty from the goal line here. Xander Gold going after his 5th touchdown. Baltimore in the goal line with 9 in the box. Gold looking for the mismatch, fires back in the end zone, and he threw it out of bounds. Boy, they're going to look, I'm telling you, New Orleans is going to look back at this film, and they're going to say, we had a touchdown there. We had a touchdown to Matt Wolf in the back of the end zone.
Yep.
We threw
it. Time it happens.
We threw an ill-advised interception. We fumbled the kickoff. We were in this game. We just a handful of plays.
Yeah, it really never seemed that they were completely out of control. It was just basically a few mistakes that really defined the game.
The handoff is not going to be a safety as Baltimore gets out of trouble. That'll be New Orleans' last time out, and the Vultures will get to go into the victory formation. And in a way, Baltimore survives. It sounds odd winning a game by 28 and saying they survived, but this could have been a lot worse for the Vultures. It couldn't have been much better than it was tonight, and it could have been a lot worse as New Orleans came to play, and some inexperience, I think, just kind of bit them in some key spots, but they will be back. I have no doubts about that.
Oh, most definitely. This is one of those up-and-coming teams that really put their mark. First season is rough. The second season they put their mark, and there's no going back for them. We've seen a few teams that in their first season they can struggle, and they come back strong for their second season, and they're off to the races, and they find their playbook, they find their mojo, they find their quarterback, they find their philosophy defensively, and they're just tough teams to beat from here on out. So I think the New Orleans will be one of those teams.
So the Vultures get the win. Here are the final stats. Warfield gains, falls short of 300. Those slackers. 600. Look at that. 1,211 yards of total offense. That may be a record.
Yeah, maybe. And as we saw the time of possession, it was basically dead even. So, across the board, stats show very competitive game like it was. But a fumble here, an interception there, a bad throw here. It was just basically what doomed the New Orleans PHARAOHS.
Well, Baltimore and Alaska, Denver and Dallas left. That is your final 4, ladies and gentlemen, and it all goes down Sunday. By the way, the championship game will not be the following Sunday. That's Easter, after all. It'll be Monday, April 22nd, and we'll have more details on that as they arrive. Damon Simeon, he's making the drive up. Will be calling the game with me live in SFL Studios. He's already taken off work, and we're ready to party on Championship Monday. Until then, you've got some voting still going on. You've got a uniform contest for the Pro Bowl. You've got Pro Bowl voting and end-of-season honors. We'll have that honor show coming up in the next couple of weeks. And if you're a rookie, keep checking in. Keep getting prepared for Season 13 because it'll be here before you know it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And it looks like, Ramos, we are, in fact, going to be celebrating our 1,000th game live from Atlanta. That is going to be fun.
That's going to be very, very fun. And vote for me for Owner of the Year, even though I'm not in the ballot.
Right in?
What's up with that? Come on. I'm not in the ballot.
Well, if you read Ray Bentley and Richard Montague's article today, they share the same sentiment.
I know.
That's a must-read for sure. Ramos, final thoughts before we send the children home.
Well, Baltimore, very strong win, very strong team, and it's basically going to be the third, for Alaska, whether they're going to go to their third championship in a row or whether they're going to fall for the third time against the Baltimore Vultures this season. And as far as Denver and Dallas goes, battle of the running backs, let's see if Zach Zamlin, who is my front runner for MVP of this league, is going to do it again, or if Jared McChesney and Jeremy Vega as the Owen can get to the first championship in just the second season. It will be one of the biggest turnarounds we've ever seen in SFL history, from 309 to championship berth. So this is the great stuff about this league. Whether you're 2-10 one season, 3-9, doesn't matter. You can come back the following season and have a great year.
Bishop Warfield, your extraordinary Everest player of the game, and for Nathan Blake, who had a busy night keeping up with Warfield, Gaines, Powell, and company, and Ramos Lynn, who joined me for our quarterfinal ball game. I'm Cameron Irvine, and this has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, and you've been watching the SFL Network on Twitch TV. From all of our crew in Baltimore, good night and welcome to the semifinals.